Hey everyone, I'm Julia Cunningham, hanging out here on the Spectrum where we're bringing you live coverage of Bonnaroo 2019. I'm Julia Cunningham and I have members of the Catfish and the Bottlemen. Literally, the Catfish and the Bottlemen are with me in the studio right now. Van and Bondi, gentlemen, how are you?
Great, thanks.
Very well, glad to be here.
Yeah, I know that you guys just drove here this morning, basically, to be here just hours from, of course, your set that's going to be airing live here on the Spectrum. But Van, and we do have visuals that you can see on our social media. You literally brought the world's largest jug of water.
Like
Let me
that?
hold it up so you can see that.
That's one of the medium ones as well. They go bigger than that.
You know, because usually people do not remember to hydrate at these type of festivals, and yet you're like, I'm a rock star. I know now at this point that this is number one.
I glug it all day, and then after the gig, pour it over my head. Just all of it. Anything that's left.
Shower in a bottle.
Shower in a bottle, and you're clean to start the rest of the day.
Straight up.
What a thoughtful thing for yourself that you've done. Bondi, have you picked up on these tricks?
I've opted for a slightly smaller bottle. Yeah.
Human-sized bottle of water.
I'm going to test
The
my
face wash
dehydration today.
That's one of the face wash.
That's just to wash your face and then continue on with the day.
Yeah.
Smart enough. So, guys, you released your album just earlier this year, so you're still sort of like fresh in it in a way.
Yeah.
You know, and you're here doing a leg in North America, and you're here at Bonnaroo. Does it feel nice, like, after a while, like, having... Because for people that don't know, you guys sort of really work your best to be in isolation. So, you know, the unveiling of these songs must be something special every single time. But now bring them to something, you know, like a Bonnaroo where there's thousands of people. And now at this point, they actually know the album. It's been out for a while.
Yeah.
Must be like a very rewarding experience.
Oh, it's the best feeling, I think. Once you've had all them songs for that long and you've gone into a studio, recorded them, and you're all in there playing it full blast, having a drink, sat back in the control room, knowing that, like, surely if there's loads of our fans in here, they'd be raving off this. So you kind of know you've got it in the bag. So it's only been out, what, 2 months now, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like basically, April when.
And that's honestly like long shot, and the songs we've been putting out, playing live. The reaction to them's been class. So, yeah, it's definitely the best feeling, especially when you see that people have got what they wanted. Like, yeah, I'm glad, I'm loving this album. You know, I feel like the reaction's been like that to it.
It's always interesting to see which ones are going to be the fan favourites, and also like it seems we're having a third album out. When you're just on the second album, I guess when you're doing a headline gig, you're playing mostly both albums, but when a third comes into play, that's when you're sort of having to start really strategizing a set list, you know? Right.
Well, and like weirdly, like energy-wise, right? They always say like your first album because no one knows you, right? Like this is your introduction to the world. But then, you know, you get to the second album. But by third album, you're like, we know what we're doing. We're sort of like finding our voices. We have what we want this sort of sound to be.
Yeah.
That in a way, like, do you go into isolation, a way of being like, yes, this is the way we do this now because we don't need outside perspective. We don't need other things outside of our producer, us. We know who we are as Catfish and the Bottlemen.
Yes and no, I guess, because the thing with made us go into that was the fact that we'd already done it two ways already. So like we'd done one in America for the second album. With Sardi, the first album we did in the UK with Jim. So this third one, it was like, you know, let's kind of dot about and get a big house together, and like we got
cut off the world.
Yeah, it was kind of like that kind of vibe. So it was really good. I well enjoyed it. Probably each one has been fun for its own reason. So I think with the third comes like what you say with the set list. I think this album now is going to have the other two albums shaped around it, if you know what I mean. Whereas when you're on the first, you've just got the first amount of songs to play. The second, a few join the party, but the third now is like set it up, whereas they'll kind of float around that album, I think. So, yeah, I'm loving this album at the moment.
Yeah, and tell me about working with Jacknife, because he's sort of a legendary figure in music. Obviously, this must be one of those sort of like, yeah, we're working with Jack now. Yeah. Like, we're going to go into isolation with him in a house. We're going to have dinners together.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, what was it like working with, I don't even know, you two, or like Michelle Brandt, or like name someone he's worked with them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's great being able to pick the brain of anybody like that. And it was sort of effortless with him, wasn't it? Like, he almost didn't realize the record was coming together the way it was. And some songs, some of the tracks, there's one called Sidetrack that felt like it was done in about 2 hours or something.
Yeah, that was an afternoon, wasn't it?
Wow.
And everything just sort of, from what could seem quite chaotic, came together quite quickly. Like there'd just be equipment lying around everywhere. Jacknife would be lying on the floor, like messing about with dials and things like that. And then the track would just form itself.
Wow.
I don't know. He's
very easily.
A bit of a mad genius. It was a pleasure to work with.
And did you find like working with a producer, was that sort of out of a necessity of wanting to have, well, obviously some sort of perspective, right, to sort of help you guys hone in, but Was he a producer that was always like, oh, we should be adding something, or was it more like taking away, or did he sort of just get the vibe that you were going for as soon as you walked into the studio?
I think that was sort of just tailored to each song. I wouldn't say there was an overall, like, we need to be really minimal on this. It was just what's correct for the song, you know?
Yeah, and we always turn up with like a good idea of what we want to do anyway, so it's like, it's more how they can wrestle with what we've got, if you know what I mean. If we turn up and we go, we've got this, you know, feel free to kind of knock it off its course a bit. And he was very good at, you'd put a song down or start tracking a song, and then he'd take you out of it. He'd go make you listen to a song that's completely different to that song, and, you know, go for a walk or something like that. So he was good at like separating us from the studio and the song, so that you come back in with fresh ears. And like you say, what Bonnie was saying, you'd think that you were sat there for just an hour or two, and you'd listen back through the speakers, and you'd be like, is this done? Put some vocals on this. This one sounds done. So Sidetrack was like that. Basically, was quite like that, wasn't it? Really, as well. Very quick.
Very quick. Well, gentlemen, it's been very lovely talking with both of you.
Lovely speaking.
We're very excited we get to bring your set as our coverage for Bonnaroo. So thank you for that.
Forward to it.
Bonnaroo.